Hi, I'm Nora, and I'm an art addict. And I have been missing my art peeps at Threshold to Hope. So since I can't be there right now, we are going to come to you and talk to you a little about how you can do art while you're at home. I thought that I would look and see how it would be easiest to make some paints in case you don't have any at home. So I looked it up, and Wikipedia gave me a great site, and we'll post that site as well, that tells us how we can make about 6 different kinds of paint. And I'm going to talk to you about 3 of them today. The first one is the easiest, but it's going to be the one that's going to take the longest. This is how you can make some watercolors. Take a couple of pens that have maybe dried out or you haven't been using them, and put them down into water. And you just want to use a couple of ounces of water in a jar, and you're just going to leave them there for about a week. That's why I say this is going to take the longest time, because you can't play with them quite yet. But you leave them there for about a week. The water starts evaporating, the ink keeps coming out of the pens, and then hopefully after about a week you have enough that you can play in some watercolors. So give this a try if you have some pens at home and you want to give that a shot. Okay, there's 2 others that I thought were fairly easy and that you would probably have the supplies already at home. The next one is making a paint out of flour, salt, and water. And it's using equal parts of the flour, salt, and water. So if you want to make about the amount that I have here, it's 1/4 of a cup of flour, 1/4 of a cup of salt, and 1/4 of a cup of water. However, I did put a little bit more water in it because it was pretty thick. So if you want to have a fairly thick paint, you can do this. Now, if you want to have several different colors, you may want to make a little bit bigger of a batch, depending on how many colors you want to make. So all you're going to do is, if you want to have a different color, you're going to pick up some of your food coloring, drop in a few drops of your food coloring, and again, this is to however much color you want in there. If you want a really strong color, put in a lot of drops. If you want a lighter color, not as many. So this is going to give you a paint that's going to give you a lot of texture. And I know that I have my texture fans, and they're going to jump on this and go to their cabinets right away and get some flour and salt and water, and they're going to be trying this right away. So then what is it we're going to paint on? Well, most of us have some cardboard at home that we've gotten a package lately, or something's come packaged, and a lot of times we just throw those things in the trash, don't do anything with them. But this one is one that I went ahead and put a coat of just the plain white on the cardboard, and it has kind of a rough, sandy texture to it because of the salt. So you can just paint this on and have all sorts of good texture with it and have lots of fun. Now, of course, this is not going to give you something that is going to be, something that you're going to sell, or something that you're going to keep for 100 years. It's just something that is going to take the edge off of this "I can't do art, what am I going to do" feeling. So this is the addiction part of it, having to have a little bit of something that you can play with. So it's more about the feeling of doing art than necessarily the outward product that you get, but this can be a lot of fun. Okay, so that's number 2. The third one is just plain fun to do, and it is making a tempera paint with an egg. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to break your egg and have a separate bowl out here to put your whites in, because you can use your whites for breakfast tomorrow. Make an egg white omelet or throw it in with a couple of other eggs. So don't throw away your egg whites. And then your yolk we're going to put coloring in with. Now you have to recognize that anything that you put in with a yellow egg yolk is going to have that yellow base. So I'm putting in some red, and it's going to be more of an orange by the time we mix that together. So we're going to stir up our egg yolk. Get it really well mixed together. And any lumps, clumps, or other things that aren't going to mix together, get rid of those. Okay, so other things that you can use as art canvases when you don't have an art canvas. You can use paper or cardstock, and these are things that I've already gotten a first layer of the tempera paint on. This was my blue color, which turned a nice pretty aqua when we put it together with the yellow of the egg yolk. So then I can come in here and create some of my lovely sunset color. Yeah, let's just have a little sun down here. Just going down. And a little reflection on toward the bottom. Now, that is not necessarily great art, but it is great fun. And that's what art should be. So we have the 3 different kinds of paint that you can use. And we even have breakfast for tomorrow. And so let's talk a little bit more about other things that you can use to paint on. If you really want to go crazy and you have kids at home, you could get out some pudding, make up some pudding, throw a little bit in a pan and let them finger paint in it. And another thing that if you really want to have some kinesthetic things going on, you can get some shaving cream, put a couple of drops of food coloring in that, and finger paint with that. So finger painting is a great way to, release the stress that we have in our lives, and it's also fun for the kids. What are some other things that we can use? How about those old magazines that keep coming in the mail? If you have one of these magazines and you use some of your flower paint, you can put a coating of the flower paint on your page, and then you can paint right on top of that. How about some of those ads that just keep on coming day after day after day? How about if we use those for our art instead of just throwing them away? Paper sacks. So there's all sorts of things. Go to your recycling bin. Pull out some of the things that you have in your recycling bin. That's where these all came from. Go to your recycling bin, pull things out, play with them. If you've got crayons, it's a great way to relieve some stress. If you've got some chalk, there's a recipe in this same post that we're going to give you that is talking about how to make chalk paints. So use what you have in your home and enjoy art. Don't ever give up on art. And art will be there for you, and it will help you with your stress levels during these rough times. And I want to see you back at Threshold to Hope as soon as we can get there. See ya.